You are tired of losing every gun duel, or getting one tapped every time you peek, or you're just curious about movement, whatever reason. Today we'll analyze the two most common and effective movement types, looking at their pros and cons and when to use each one. So the first one is AD strafing. Probably heard about it a lot already. It's the most simple and quite effective type. But how do you do it right? You need to move and abuse the fact that the enemy is standing still. For example, you holding an angle, and what I like to do is to move to make myself not a still target. And when the guy peeks, you shoot, and if you miss, you strafe, wait for them to stop moving, and then take your shot. So the second one is crouch strafing. I know I probably heard that crouching is bad, that you should avoid it and bind it or just never use it. But in this case, it can actually be really helpful. So what you're doing here is strafing with additional crouches, which makes your head constantly change level. The key is to just tap the crouch button, don't fully commit to it. Because the moment you fully sit down, if you don't let that first bullet, you're probably dead. And one more thing, never crouch when fighting multiple enemies. Your speed drops drastically, and they can easily kill you with just a few body shots, and you won't be able to do anything about it, to be honest. Now let's talk about advantages. So the first one is easy to do. Basically, it's a very simple principle to learn and implement even intuitively. The second one is smooth aim. Movement might help you avoid the need for precise micro adjustments and make your aim more smoother. The third one, you can cover much longer distance when doing AD strafes, which helps a lot when the enemy is spraying at you, as you are a much harder target to hit. Now, disadvantages. The first one is probably the biggest issue with it, it's becoming very predictable. As Valorant evolves, most of players are aware of this type of movement, and it's not that hard to kill you. With the right crosshair placement, picking the good player becomes very hard, as most of the times you will just land at his crosshair. And the second one, you limit yourself as a variation. Yes, you can do a little AADD and something like that, but it's still not really that different. Let's move on to crouch strafing. So the first one, you are a much harder target to hit. As your head always at different place, you are becoming a really annoying target to hit. Second one, you are much less predictable. You can say it's just the opposite of the AD strafes. And the third one, you are messing with others' crosshair placement, because most of the players will expect you to be at the head level. Now it's time for disadvantages. First one, it's better works on experienced players. As low to mid elo players don't have very good crosshair placement, they are much likely to hit some random shot onto you. The second one is worse at fighting multiple people. As I said before, your speed is much lower and you are becoming much easier target to enemies. Third one is just harder to implement properly, as you need to stay composed and focused. The next one is interferes with your aiming. As your crosshair is always at different height, you need to micro adjust more precisely. So the questions would arise, what type should you choose? And the answer is both. For less experienced players, I recommend to master first type, as it's easier and fundamental. But, as we talked about pros and cons, you should use different types at different times. For example, crouch peeking when you know the enemy is there and waiting for you. Or when you're taking a fair duel and you keep making yourself a harder target to hit. Another example is trying to hold the site when a lot of enemies pushing you. It's important to stay composed and keep smoothly strafing A and D. To train this, hop onto deathmatch and keep in your head the different situations and setups, when one or another movement will be beneficial. And just practice. You'll master it with time. Don't tilt yourself with mistakes. It will happen, but with time and practice, you'll eventually master it and become much better player. And remember, movement is just part of a mechanical skill. Personally, I see movement just as a tool to extend your time to kill. There will always be rounds where you're just going to get one tapped, and you can do nothing about it. But that's just how Valorant works, so don't get upset, just keep practicing, and see you.